Yeah, my name is Hussain. I was actually born in Kenya, Nairobi. Um, and at the age of about a month, I was adopted by my parents, who then took me back to Uganda. And that's where I grew up in a small village called Bukwe. And we all shared everything with each other. And the sort of words like depression, everything never even existed in our vocabulary, really, because life was just brilliant. And then, as growing up and going to school in Kampala, that was brilliant too, because it was a new experience. Studying at in a big school from a small village school, which is about 10, 12 of us in a little village hall. But things were very good. And then, as Parvi said, suddenly in 1972, everything changed. Um, and initially it was exciting because we were going to London. We'd been hearing about London for years and hadn't been there and seen it on films and Indian films, etc. But then suddenly it changed. There was fear, and then the army started taking control of things, and that was really, really frightening. And never thought I would actually make it. And I had a double whammy because being an Asian and then being a black Asian, which was even more difficult because it was obvious I was not Asian and I was adopted, although my culture was Asian. And so every army checkpoint used to be a point of fear because they would turn around and say to my parents, "This is our child, it's not your child, leave him behind here." And that was panic, they're going to leave me behind here, they're going to take me away, and the big guns in front of you. So that 72 really, really changed everything. I think my experience was slightly different because initially my father was a Uganda citizen. So therefore he thought, we're okay, we're not going to be thrown out of this country, I'm a citizen, and all the citizens thought that. So initially it didn't matter, we kept on going to school. But what started happening is a month or 2 months later, everybody realized this was serious. And even the British didn't come in to pick up the people till about a month before. So when they started coming in, the United Nations started coming in, and censorship started. People were being censored, so you had to go and register your names, etc. That's when people realized it was serious. And then school, what happened is all the people who were British citizens, kids started to come to Britain. So then the schools started getting fewer and fewer in class. Every day you go to school, somebody left, and nobody would tell you, because people lived in this fear. And if you tell these people, the army is to come into your house and just do what they wanted to do. So people would leave in the middle of the night, and next day you found out they'd left. One afternoon, parents were in the business, everything was fine, and an army guy who was my father's friend came and said, "Mr. Allidina, I think you better leave tonight." And he said, "Why?" He said, "You are targeted next to you. They're going to raid your shop, and they used to raid you and take everything out of you and beat you up, etc." So he said, "You'll be safer to leave. You're on the list tonight." So that afternoon, I was just playing, and next thing I know, we were packing bags, and just shut the doors of the shop, the house, everything, and got into the car and went to Kampala, the city. Bought the tickets, and the next day, myself and my mom were at the airport in the night. And traveling to the airport was frightening because there was army checks all the time, and the same issue, where are you going? So I traveled under a false pretenses that I was going to Nairobi as a student, and I had some false papers. And at the airport, I remember the army guys with their guns on the side, and just walking around looking at everybody. And I was supposed not to be with my mom because I was not going, I was on my own going to Nairobi to study. So my mom was sitting a few yards away from me, and I'm sitting here, and I had to keep quiet. And I was petrified, absolutely petrified. I thought, I'm not going to make it through here. And I just wanted to run up to my mom, and mom kept on saying, "Don't come near me." And the air hostesses knew about it. So dad kept me completely quiet, and they said, "When the time comes to board the plane, you come with us and don't look back. You just walk onto the plane, and we'll walk you up to the plane." This becomes difficult for me because it's my mom. Anyway, the flight was delayed for 9 hours, which made it even worse. Finally, the next morning when the air hostess came to me and said, "Right, Hussain, I'm going to walk you." And I said, "What about mother? Is she going to be on the plane?" She said, "She'll be on the plane. But you have to come on first because we have to protect you." So I walked up to the plane, sat on the plane, and thinking, "Is mom going to come? Is mom going to come?" And then next thing, they brought mom up on the plane as well. And that's when I really thought, okay, we both on plane. But my father was Uganda citizen, so he couldn't come on the same flight. He had to fly by another airlines to Belgium and then into London. So again, at the age of 15, I suddenly had to grow up because I had to look after mom, who couldn't speak English, and my father was disabled, he had polio, so I had to look after him and carry all the bags. I remember all my life belongings in my hands, gadlas and mitas, the pillowcases and blankets, and everything was in my to carry on plane. But there you are.